Iceland, a land that is known for its natural beauty. But one thing people often overlook is some of that beauty washing away. Earlier this summer, Wheaton Impact Travel was given the opportunity to visit Iceland and some incredible landmarks. But why Iceland? Because all around the world, global warming has caused a rapid increase in the melting of glaciers, and Iceland is considered one of these pinnacle places. Concern leaves many wondering what the future holds.
Didn't really start to worry about this till maybe 10 or years ago, and not much has happened.
In our best efforts to find what has already been done and what we can do moving forward, we have created this documentary. You will see the impact on the people, nature, and the land. So follow along as we explore Iceland's melting glaciers. A glacier is a large, slow-moving accumulation of ice and snow that flows over land under the force of gravity. For centuries, Iceland's glaciers have been both a symbol of beauty and a crucial part of its ecosystem. These colossal ice masses have shaped the landscape, carved valleys, and influenced the island's climate. Historically, Iceland's glaciers have been a defining feature. These three are among the largest, each with a history spanning thousands of years. But in recent decades, scientists and the people of Iceland have noticed its slow recession. Streams of water deep below the glaciers form caves, slowly eroding it over time. Since the mid-1990s, these glaciers have been rapidly shrinking. It's not just Iceland with this problem, it's a global issue too. It is estimated that Iceland's glacier-covered area has shrunk about 2,000 kilometers cubed since the end of the 19th century due to warming. Every year, an additional 40 kilometers squared are deglaciated, and we only have climate change to blame. We spoke to people on the streets of Reykjavik, wondering what is being done to combat global warming. We found that in order to protect our ecosystem and minimize damage done to glaciers through global warming, Iceland relies on 100% renewable energy.
All these buildings that you see here, all of Reykjavik, in fact, is heated not by coal or make electricity or anything. It's heated by geothermal water. In Iceland, we've been extraordinarily lucky that nearly all of that is non-CO2 producing.
But what does the Icelandic government have planned? In November 2021, the Icelandic government released a new climate target to reduce carbon emissions by 55% by the year 2030 compared to 2005.
Really battling CO2 emissions now. So we're putting that into the building regulations now. That people have to, if you're going to build a house, it's over 2,000 square meters, so it's a big house, a reasonably big house. You have to do a life cycle analysis of the building for the duration of its life. It's 80 years or something. And try to make sure that you don't have too much CO2 production.
It's, I guess, been like warmer here, like sooner warmer and stuff, yeah.
Do you like that?
Well, yeah. Yeah. We recycle.
Here in Iceland we have like a system with like, you get these brown little packages for like all the food.
Natural like
stuff.
compost. Like we get from the government. Like these brown bags
So you
and
have
a separate
for like
rubbish. Yeah.
And then we have like these big blue ones for like plastic, and then other one for like green, which is for paper.
Yeah.
So would you say your government is highly involved in combating this issue?
Yeah.
Are there any
Almost a
other methods?
resounding concern for melting glaciers filled the faces of all Icelandic residents.
Has a great impact on our lives and future generations.
It's gonna affect us more in the Nordic regions and in the Arctic. It's gonna happen quicker there. And so many of the glaciers will sadly melt within 100 years. And it's going to have lots of effect. All our wonderful hydroelectric power plants that give us power to run all the buildings and run whole society with electricity without producing CO2, well, they're not going to be working very much more if there isn't any more water coming from the glaciers. I'm afraid Earth and Mother Nature far, far, far more powerful. There have been people who have said maybe we could set up some kind of an umbrella to shield the Earth from the infrared rays from the sun and stuff like that. I don't really see that happening.
A couple days into the trip, our group took the road toward Krusavik to visit Worldwide Friends, an environmental work group with the mission to combat global warming. This is where we met Mark, a camp leader with the organization who hopes to protect Iceland and inspire new people to make a difference.
My job title, if you want to say it like that, is camp leader. So I'm working in one of the different camps that we have here at Worldwide Friends Iceland in Krusavik. They have large problems with land erosion, and what we are trying to do is mainly build a information and learning center for people to come, volunteers to come from all over the world, and other than that, try to, the founder of the organization always says, heal the land, so find protective ways to stop or slow down at least land erosion to make the land more stable and protect the environment.
We today were helping them to build up this center to make it more sustainable and more sort of self-run. So specifically, we were working in the fields to sort of get ready for the planting of crops so that they can grow their own food to cook in the center, to really make it a really nice educational center to reach more people than they do even now. It was a lot of hard work. It was very cold. It was raining the whole time, but I had a smile on my face the whole time. We're here in Iceland. We've just cleared all of this, all of the dirt, all of the weeds. Yeah, we're having a great day. It's cold, it's raining, but we're in good spirits. It was really impactful. I think before we started, we had a conversation about how one of Worldwide Friends' missions is to reconnect with nature and allow people to do that sort of in their spaces. And I think that's really, really important when you travel, to really try and honor the space, leave it better than where you came. And that was something we were able to do today, which was really special to me.
In Iceland specifically, the nature in itself is very fragile. And you can see it in every part and aspect of the world, or the land at least, including also glaciers. I can't even say that glaciers especially make a large portion of the problems here in Iceland, because they're just one big part of the entire ecosystem. But from what I understand at least, is that the main problem here in Iceland with the glacial structure is also one of the ways that tries to hold the land together, so to speak. Those melting away will definitely impact the entire country in a large scale.
Right now we're in their warehouse where they're getting ready for an exhibition on trash that they collected from the beach that's been turned into different art pieces. We have some people here who are helping to set up the exhibition. Some people are even making some art that could possibly go in this exhibition, so it's pretty amazing.
I think it's important because we can make the example for children with exhibition to give fun with some game about climate change or trash sorting or like this.
Honestly, I think what we are doing now, it's not really important because okay, we move some fish nets, but the most important is to do the people aware about the climate change. So this workshop, the exhibition for Sunday, it's really important, and I think that is the most important thing here.
The question that everybody should ask themselves, in my opinion, once in their lifetime is if you want to leave the world that you lived on better or worse than it was before or during the time that you lived. And if you won't find the heart in yourself to answer it that in that way, that you want to leave a world that's maybe even slightly better than what you found in the first place, then maybe ask yourself again. But I think that's a good motivation for everybody. So if you want and would like to work, preserve this land, see this very almost outlandish landscape and very, very unique and special place, I can just only encourage you to come here. Maybe pick up a shovel, dust off your old gloves, and come to work here for a while, leaving behind a world that's slightly better than it has been before you came.
How much it receded? A lot. Since I started working here, the front of the glacier, it was about, on this glacier my first time was about 5 years ago, and the front of the glacier in these 5 years it retreated like 200-300 meters. So the lake in front of the glacier is 300 meters bigger. All the glaciers in southern Iceland are receding a lot. So yeah, it's changing. Drain holes or moulins, the English word for those holes. They are the channels, the pipes that drive all the water from the surface of the glacier to the bottom, to the bedrock, and finally to the lake and the ocean. Okay, those we approach some small drain holes. The big ones can reach a few meters in diameter and several meters in vertical drop.
This water buildup amounts over time, making its way toward the sea. As more and more glacier water spills into the ocean from all over the world, we could see some serious damage done to many parts of the coast.
Like the entire center part, or large parts of the center of Iceland, will probably unearth or get destabilized in ways that will just bring a lot of more problems and worse problems, like volcanic activity that can start to erupt more often because of the structural integrity of the land that was there before, new chasms and shafts that might be opened due to loss of ice that was holding it together and in place. I don't really know. I mean, I'm probably the wrong person to ask as well, but I think that the consequences of an actual loss of glaciers here in Iceland can't really be predicted that well for now, but I'm very certain that it will be very catastrophic, especially for the center of the land and the entire land mass and its core.
All the glaciers, they have volcanic ashes on top, on the surface. Sometimes these ashes get together and form a thicker layer, and when this thicker layer is about an inch thick, it starts insulating the underlying ice, so the surrounding ice melts faster than the ice protected by the ash, and then you have these pyramids of dirt, of ash, that are called melt cones or dirt cones. They look like ant farms.
As this continuous cycle of climate change occurs, the weight of tons and tons of water being released from these glaciers creates an uneven weight distribution where the sea level gets heavier and the land underneath shoot upwards, which could cause enough pressure for volcanic eruptions.
The impact is when you take a plane to Iceland. That's the impact. Basically, not if we chop a step on the ice or we play a little bit breaking the ice on the surface. That is nothing. So in a regular summer day like today, because of the wind and the rain, the glacier on the surface, it melts 10-15 centimeters every day. It's natural. But it's a matter that exceeds my knowledge by a lot. I can tell you at that small scale here in alpine glaciers, in these glaciers, in something that affects our activity as mountain guides is as the permafrost melts and the size of the glacier melts, the surrounding sides of the mountain and the cliffs, they become more unstable, much more unstable. So it becomes every time more dangerous to approach to the glacier because the side of the mountain it's not contained by ice and the permafrost is gone. So that's how it affects tourism directly. It's harder, more exposed access to the glacier. And then about the ecological impact, if people get to know glaciers, you get to like them, to love them, and then you maybe start researching a little bit how you can make your contribution to protect them. Our little contribution would be to be more energy efficient, like try to waste less energy, try to consume less fossil fuels. That's what I would like. With education, try to generate some ecological conscience.
It's clear that these glaciers are melting at a rate faster than ever, almost to the point of no recovery. In fact, as soon as 150 years from now, there could be no glaciers left in Iceland at all. And climate change, of course, plays a critical role in this process. The only thing humans can do is clean up our own negative actions, minimize fossil fuels, restore the land and the nature surrounding it, and raise awareness through policy and word of mouth. It's important we know what is going on in our world. But whether or not you are personally impacted by these melting glaciers, they stand as a strong message for society that global warming is in fact real and it's happening right before our eyes. Just because you might not see the damage doesn't mean it isn't happening, and this is why it's so important we are conscious of our efforts to be sustainable. Yes, these glaciers are beautiful, but we won't be able to appreciate their beauty in the future if we don't do our part to keep them now. So thank you for watching Melting Glaciers, an Iceland documentary.